ଆପଣ ସେୟାର କରିବେ ଆଉ। Good morning, everybody, and
Sir,
namaste.
namaskar.
So, thanks for all joining in this special topic in search for happiness. So, at the outset, I want to congratulate all the participants and also extend my heartful thanks to DRIEMS and the coordinator SGT, Dr. Shudhanshu sir, and for giving me this opportunity for sharing my realizations on this special topic. So, with permission, shall I start?
Sir, with
Sushant
your
sir,
permission,
shall I start?
Hello.
Okay.
Sir, with your due permission, I just want to start the session.
So, screen sharing, Sushant sir will be doing now?
Sir, actually, just after introduction, we'll start sharing, sir. Just after introduction, ma'am will introduce, after that we'll start.
Sushant sir?
Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir? Hello?
Okay, let me
sir, am I audible,
start
sir?
from this topic in search for happiness.
Yes, sir.
So, actually, happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. This is by Aristotle. So, everybody is searching for happiness. So, but
sir, hello.
sir.
Sir, actually,
Sir, namaskar. So, participants, I welcome you all to the second session of day 5. This session is somehow different from other sessions. It is basically in search for happiness. Some people are happy the way they are, and the many people are unhappy for the way they are. Happiness is therefore an attitude. It lies in the acceptance of things that cannot be changed. At the same time, happiness comes from attempting to do the things better and trying to be a better person as well. So, happiness is a feeling of truly enjoying your life. So, now we have with us Engineer Pankaj Kumar Chand on this session. Engineer Pankaj Kumar Chand received his BE in Electronics and Telecommunication from UC Bulla in 1991. He served as engineer in NTPC from 1991 to 1996 and assistant station engineer in Doordarshan from 1996 to 99 and from 1999 to 2013 at BSNL. He served as a territory manager at RailTel Corporation from 2013 to 2019. He is currently serving as Director, Department of Telecom. He has a special interest in preaching signs of Lord Krishna consciousness. So today, Sir will share his knowledge on how to search happiness in life. Thank you so much, sir. So warm welcome from our side. So we will eagerly waiting to listen to you from In Search of Happiness. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam, for your nice introduction. But actually, everybody is searching for happiness. So, in different degree, we are getting some happiness and also some sorrow, because this material world is always full of anxiety. So definitely anxiety will be there, but within that anxiety, how we'll be getting our happiness, that we have to search for. So, Sushant sir, shall we share the screen?
Yes, sir. Now you can share it.
Okay, so in search for happiness, so a small kid, a child, is also searching for happiness. Younger, small kid to old person, everybody is searching for happiness. So, let's see where the happiness is there. Okay, next slide, please. So happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. That is by Aristotle. So actually, if you see, the whole purpose of the life is a search for happiness, or the main purpose of this life is to, whole aim of this life is, or the existence of the human life is search for happiness. So, because whatever we are doing, yeah, we are definitely searching after happiness and trying to get some happiness out of our own endeavor, or maybe out of some mercy from Lord. So everybody is searching for happiness. So in this regard, we can have some real life example. People may have maybe 5 buildings or 10 buildings, maybe having two cars or 3 cars, or so many plots or buildings, whatever maybe, lots of rupees in life, maybe jobs and everything, but still then people are not happy. So everybody, but a small a person who is staying in a thatched house and eating a little shak sabji, he is happy. So how the person who is nothing having nothing, he is happy, but a person who is having all material things is not happy. So this happiness is a state of mind, definitely, and even if we are having everything in our life, but still then we'll feel blank in the life and not getting any happiness. So so many people might have the realizations of this also, and so we can know that from a real life example, like suppose one is searching for water in a desert, he is running after one mirage, and after changing some distance, again he is finding that the water is far away. So again he's running after that mirage, and ultimately his life is he's going to die very shortly, because he's searching this water or the happiness in a wrong direction. So similarly, another example we can have, one sadhu are there. He found that some of the people were jumping near a lake from the top of the river bank and down to this that river, and they are searching for something. Then the sadhu was asking that person, those persons, what you are searching for? Then they are telling that some of the that one king is there. Once upon a time, there is a king in that state or country, and that queen was having a necklace, jewelry necklace, and he has lost that one. And whoever able to search that one, then they will be getting 50% of that. So they are seeing that that necklace the jewelry necklace is inside this water. Actually, that is not inside the water. So, but the sadhu was able to see where it is actually. So other people are searching and jumping inside this water, but actually that jewelry necklace was in the branch of the tree, whose reflection was they are inside this water of the river. So the sadhu was able to understand the reality, and that's why he tells the other people that you don't search there. You see, this necklace is in the top of the branch of the tree, which is not inside the water. So similar, this material world is just a reflection, perverted reflection of the spiritual world, and real happiness is there in the spiritual world, which is full of no anxiety, Vaikuntha, no kuntha, no anxiety. But here it is always full of miseries, dukkhalayam and ashwasatam. It is a place of miseries and it is temporary. So if we try to find this happiness here in this world, we'll never get it. And yes, we can get it, but there is a procedure for getting it. But generally, people who are not following that procedure, they will not get any happiness. So these two examples, we can start with these two examples, that where the happiness or where the water is there, in the desert it is not there, and in the mirage we are running after, and the perverted reflection of the happiness, the material happiness is there, which is not the real happiness. And even if you are having so many material things, that will not give us happiness, and we are running after this so-called happiness. And lastly, we'll run after that like a mirage, and we'll die one day in search of happiness. So next slide, please. So this slide tells the Vedanta and happiness, that is reconnecting spirituality and technology in search for happiness and fulfillment. Actually, we are all engineers and doctors and everything. So we are searching after this technology. We cannot leave this technology because we are in the age of technology. But whether this technology is really being used properly, so that we can get this happiness, in search of happiness and fulfillment. For example, hospitals has been opened, doctors are there, engineers are there. Suppose in a hospital, doctors are there, and doctors are having a knife who is operating, doing surgery with the help of that knife. So that knife is required. But if it is in a wrong hand, like a dacoit is having this knife, then it is a problematic thing, say. And but this same thing, if it is in the hand of a surgeon, then it is a good thing. So similarly, this technology, like nuclear bomb, we have created, that Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was totally wiped out. And after that also, aftermath effect is there. That Bhopal gas tragedy in 1984. So many things has happened, and people, those who are died, it's okay. After that also, those who are not died, they are having so many diseases and also having so many problems with health and other issues. So this we cannot totally rule out this technology, but we have to connect this technology to spirituality, so that is Vedanta and happiness. So technology and spirituality, if reconnecting, then we can get some happiness out of it, out of the technology. Because if it is wrongly utilized, then that technology will prove very fatal to us. So that's why we have to know that how this technology can be used in the service of mankind, service of whole creation in a positive way. So definitely there is a disease there. So definitely medicines will be there, and that medicine is required for that recovery of this patient. Similarly, technology has to be there. It cannot be totally ruled out, and then the technology has to be used for real happiness. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay. So if we see from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that is chapter 266 sloka, Nasti buddhir ayuktasya, nacha ayuktasya bhavana, nacha bhavayata santir, asantasya kutah sukham. One who is not connected with the Supreme Absolute Truth can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So from this we can know that actually we discussed little bit that uh, that supreme truth, supreme absolute truth, that is Lord. Lord is the source of all happiness. So he is Satchidananda, Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledge, and Ananda means bliss. So, like if we are connected to an ocean, then we can get unlimited water. Similarly, if we are connected to a unlimited source of happiness, that is Lord, then we can get happiness out of it. So actually, peace and happiness and bliss, there are three things. Happiness is basically for our senses or body. Peace is for our mind, and for our soul, that is called bliss. So Satchidananda, Ananda, Lord is super soul, and we are also part and parcel of that same super soul. So we are soul, Lord is super soul. So in that we are having this quality of Satchidananda, and Lord is also having that Satchidananda, but he is unlimitedly Satchidananda, the unlimited quality of Sat, unlimitedly eternal and knowledge and blissful. But we are having a little Satchidananda. We are having a just a finite quality. Uh, like from a fire, we are having a spark of fire. So the quality of the spark of fire and the fire is same. Like this ocean of ocean is having salty quality. By a drop of water from the ocean is also salty. So similarly, a mine of gold and a drop of maybe one speck of gold is having same quality, but quantitatively different. So similarly, the Sachidananda, we are Lord is Sachidananda in a infinite way, but we are Sachidananda in a finite way. So similarly, so these three things: happiness and peace and bliss. Happiness is for our senses or body. So if one is going to eat something rasgulla, if he likes, then he is getting some happiness or satisfaction out of it. But even if, as you discussed, if he is having everything for eating and eating, mating, and defending and sleeping, that is for bodily requirement, everything is there, then some happiness he will be getting. So that is bodily requirement. But still, then he will not be real happy. So if sometimes everything is there, our mind is not good, or we are not mentally peaceful, so then we are not happy. So that's why peace of mind is very much essential. And beyond that peace, also that bliss, that is called ananda. So that is in the level of our soul level, because this quality of a soul is to serve the super soul. So when we see that the a fish is brought out of water and kept in outside, and we gave him to eat everything, still then it will not be happy. But as soon as we bring that fish into water, again it becomes happy. So similarly, so this real blissfulness will be there when we are connected to our super soul. That like a branch of a tree is disconnected from the tree, then it is becoming uh, it will be gradually died out. Similarly, but when it is connected to the tree, then it will be becoming greenery and greenery. So similarly, so this sloka is very important in the sense that we are searching after this bodily requirement of happiness, or mental level of peace, or in a soul level of blissfulness. So similarly, so in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a shloka is there. Sabi pumsa paradharma jata bhakti adhakshaje अहेतु की अप्रतिहत जजात्मा सुप्रसिद्धति. सभी pumsa means all humanity. So all humanity is having one dharma, that is called service to the Lord. So service to the Lord means service to everybody, in the sense that if you serve Lord, everybody is part and parcel of Lord, not only human being, maybe trees, maybe animals, birds, everybody. So everybody is part and parcel of Lord. So if we serve the Lord, then automatically we will get the happiness, and everybody will be happy. Like if we water in the root of the tree, all branches will be becoming greenery. Or when we put food inside our stomach, to the stomach, then automatically our all limbs of this body will become stronger. So similarly, if we do everything, whether it is technology, whether it is anything, so if we connect to Lord and try to do as a service to Lord, then gradually we will be getting happiness or blissfulness. Real blissfulness will be there. So that's why one who is not connected to the Supreme can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So this is very important in the sense. Next slide, please. Okay, scientific knowledge is an enabling power to do either good or bad, that we were discussing at that time. So, but it does not carry instructions on how to use it. To every man is given the key to the gates of heaven. The same key opens the gates of hell. It is true that if we lack clear instruction that determine which is the gate to heaven and which is the gate to hell, the key may be a dangerous object to use, but it obviously has value. So Richard F. Feynman, the Nobel laureate in physics. So that means, as we discussed, like nuclear bomb and all these things, and a knife in the hand of a surgeon and a knife in the hand of a dacoit. So we don't know. We are having a key, but we don't know whether this key is for opening the gate to heaven or getting gets to hell. So it is very dangerous one. So similar. So that we can get happiness. But if we use it in a wrong way, then definitely this scientific knowledge is definitely going to be a dangerous one, and it will be dangerous subject to use, and it is of negative value. Obviously, has negative value. Next slide, please. So this is from Mundaka Upanishad. There are two categories of knowledge to be acquired. Actually, all the teachers we are here, maximum people are from teachers or professors. So there are two types of knowledge. One is Paravidya and is Aparavidya. Paravidya is called spiritual knowledge, and Aparavidya is material knowledge. So this technology, what we are saying, that is called Aparavidya. So Para means sister. We should have both the knowledge. Only if we have this knowledge of technology, but we don't know how to utilize it in proper way, then it may proves to be very fatal or dangerous. So that's why we should have parallelly these two knowledge, one material knowledge and spiritual knowledge, so that we can properly utilize it. So the scientific and technological culture focuses on the opera vidya and tries to find happiness within it. However, every thoughtful person will agree that in order to experience real and lasting happiness, one should also have paravidya. So that's why we should find some time from our daily routine to study the scriptures or shastra, so that maybe Gita, maybe Quran, maybe whatever religion one is there, but you should shastra one should study and get the spiritual knowledge, where actually this real happiness is there, and we know how to get this real happiness from that. So that's why these two types of knowledge is required parallelly. In addition to material knowledge, this spiritual knowledge or paravidya is also this higher knowledge or spiritual knowledge, which is knowledge about who am I, and who is Lord, what is my relationship with Him. So these things should be known. Like in a family, maybe father, mother, and children are there. So similarly, they should know what is the relationship between these children and father and mother, and how these children should serve this father, and how mother will serve the father, how father will serve this mother and his wife and these children. So these relationships should be understood. So then only we can have this complete knowledge or full knowledge or both the knowledge of spiritual and material knowledge, and then we can experience this real happiness or lasting happiness. So that's why this is very essential. We should have parallelly both the knowledge, and because we have seen at some time that people in Calcutta, they are going from Kharagpur to Calcutta over local train, and maybe early morning 4 o'clock they are running, and at night they are returning by maybe 10 or 12 o'clock. So then they are not getting happiness. The rat race is going on for earning some bread. So their life is wasted like anything, and we don't know the higher purpose of human life. So only we are eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. We like everybody's animal is also doing, and we are also doing. So that actual dharma is difference between the human being and the uh, human being is doing and animal is doing. The commonality is there, that eating, sleeping, and mating and defending. But dharma ही धर्म ही तैसा अधिक विशेष धर्म ही बिना पशु बिना नाम. So in this dharma that is called service to the Lord, or that is the real connectivity which will give this real happiness. So that's why this both the knowledge is very essential. Okay, next slide, please. So when a seeker of truth acknowledges that the source of both the inferior and superior knowledge, that is Paravidya and Aparavidya, both the source is Lord Himself. Or whoever accepts in our Hindu Shastra, Sanatan Dharma, Lord is Krishna. So a reconnection is of spirituality and technology will naturally happen, and both on knowledge and the path of action can be practically understood and meaningfully applied. So this is very very essential, that Shastra is very important for us. So we should go for Shastra, and because our life should be dealt or guided by Shastra, and we have understood the Shastra, because sometimes Shastra by reading ourselves we may not be able to understand, and like a teacher is required for any engineering or medical college or maybe from school level. Similarly for this studying Shastra, one should accept this teacher. So Arjuna, that's why accepted Krishna, though he was his friend initially, but later on he submitted to him when he got confused, and accepted him as his spiritual teacher or spiritual master, and asked for real guidance, the what to do and what not to do in this difficult situation. And nobody in every walk of life there is always a confusion will be there, and in that confusion one has to seek this guidance from somebody's higher position, in the sense that like in a school or college or in any institution we go to our higher teachers. Similarly in this Shastra also this higher person is there. So Lord is giving this instruction to Arjuna. So it's Bhagavad Gita. So and then his confusion is gone, and Arjuna lastly fought in the Kurukshetra Juddha. So that's why this is very essential. We should accept this spiritual guide or any guide for our life. So that's why it's very essential. Next slide, please. So now we see that 21st century an age of scientific advancement. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. 21st century, you see, by navigation technology, Google driverless car, we are advancing. And next slide, please. Yeah, space exploration is going on. Next slide, please. Yeah, microelectronics. Next slide. Quantum computing. Next slide. Yeah, this Sophia is a humanoid robot with unique features developed by Hanson Robotics Limited. So, so many things we are able to do with the help of robots and all these things. But we are losing this feelings in the robot. there will be no feelings will be not there, and though we are almost trying to bring it to that level, but still then that human touch will not be there. So that's why, even if we are advancing so much in our material knowledge or technologically, still then we are nowadays we see that this mobile and everything's they've developed. So in a house, maybe husband, wife, children are there, but everybody is having one mobile, and they don't interact with them. They are only interacting with the mobile or computer or laptop, so that they are don't having these feelings. They always become mechanical. So, and that's why there's so many mental problems, and so many problems is occurring because people are lacking that human touch. So that's why as you know, that we go to nature. Sometimes we go to nature and interact with the nature, and we get some happiness and peace. But when we interact with this technology and all these things, we get some temporary happiness, but that is not lasting happiness. Rather, it gives us uh, some sorrow in long run. So that's why, with the help of online classes which is going on, some temporary good is there, but actually it has been studied that so many students are getting their oral problems, means audio problems, and their eyes problem, and everything is going on. So that's why uh, one temporary happiness we are running after for temporary happiness, but we are ultimately not getting this real happiness, and that's why we have to find for the real happiness. So with this technological advancement, we may get some temporary happiness, but actually that is not the real happiness. So we have to search for the real happiness. Next slide, please. So like biotechnology, so we are advancing very nicely in all this technology, but as we find that earlier this lifespan was, we have seen our grandfather was 98 or 100, then our grandmother is 95 or so, father is 85 or so. Gradually, the lifespan is reducing. So, if so much advancement is there, so much this technological advancement, and there, so while that lifespan is not improving, rather it is decreasing, people may give some data that yes, it is improving. Actually, if we find in real term, real sense, if we see ourselves, then we'll see that definitely it is reducing. So earlier people are becoming healthy, remaining healthy for longer time up to the last of their life. But nowadays, so many diseases are coming, and not only physical, mental, and every diseases are coming and increasing in numbers. So, though these technologies have developed much more, but still then, in one sense, we are not advanced so much in terms of this technology, real technology or this human technology. Next slide, please. So, and the aim of all the scientific and technological advancement is actually for what? That is for happiness. But we are not searching for, we are not able to understand, we are in such a case 99 position that we are not getting the real happiness. So that's why this class is very important, that real happiness is there, where it is there. So, next slide, please. So scientific discovery is leading to the way of for mankind. So many scientific discoveries has been there, and definitely, but actually these are all things, temporary things, and is giving some temporary happiness, but real lasting happiness is not able to get with this help of this so-called scientific advancement. Next slide, please. So among many landmark discoveries, discovery of by Watson, Crick, and Wilkins in 1953 of the double helical structure of the DNA created hope that soon we will be able to assemble the molecular components to produce life. 1953. So now 75 years passed, but still then we are not able to produce life. So actually life is produced from life only. We cannot produce from this DNA, and till that time we are not able to produce, and we are hopeful that it cannot be produced. So scientifically, because life comes from life only, because when mother gives birth to a child, so similarly, these things can be possible. Only a life comes from life. Next slide, please. So a great hope indeed. Many scientists such as Oparin and Georgi, Korana, Fox, Miller, Orgel, and many others have made extensive studies in trying to understand life in terms of atoms and molecules without getting any definite clue for thus far. Research will continue, hoping that someday one will find answer. But this is a big question. This will remain a big question. Now also a big question, and it will be remaining a big question also. So many countries are spending so much on this research, and now we also know that this world, the third world war is going on. That is called, that is China has started that third world war. That is biological war. So next is cyber war. The fourth world war will come. That is called cyber war. So we are trying to get something, but it is having some plus point, but really more negative is there. So maybe little positive and more negative. So that's why we have to see that actually what we want, more positive we want, or less or less negative or more positive. We have to see that one. Next slide, please. So in the search of happiness from material knowledge, humanity continues to encounter many crises. So we are searching for happiness, and already we are knowing that so many diseases are coming, and all uncertainties in this world and this going on, and always people are under stress, and we are encountering so many crises in our life. So we are though searching for actually happiness through this material knowledge, but we are encountering many crises, because one material problem can be solved, so it leads to a bigger material problem. So that's why it is told material problem, spiritual solution. So that's why to eradicate this material problem completely, one has to have this spiritual solution for that. So then only he can have this real happiness. Next slide, please. So you see, environment degradations, we are telling that we are advancing so much. So this is the advancement we are seeing, so much degradations, because this forest, whatever this earlier there, now it is reduced to like any extent. There is concrete jungle has been created in this so-called town and cities, and we'll be finding that so many hills that has been used for mining and all these things, and gradually all natural resources is being drained out, and our environment is degrading. Like in Delhi, where our pollution level is very high, and in so many state capitals also, because number of vehicles is more sometimes than the number of people residing there. So many factories and industries are there, and the environment is degrading like anything, and really people are becoming afraid to stay in that environment, and maybe one day it may have so happen the reverse flow from the people who are going from this village to city may come back from city to village. So this, because of this environmental degradations, it will be very dangerous for us to live. So definitely we are not so much advancing by technologically. If we see that definitely some advancement may be there, but the negative is more than the advancement itself. Next slide, please. So many new diseases, as you know, the corona, and more Delta and more Omicron and so many dangerous diseases are coming, and we are not able to get the handle out of it. So we are creating our own destiny. We are this is called biological war. So that's why this third world war is going on. So this is the many new diseases has been developed, and one after another. We have seen since 2 years or more than that, we are following or facing so many diseases and difficulties in our life. So many young people are passing away. So this is so-called advancement. If it is real advancement and real happiness is there, so then actually people have become just like a robot. We are telling. Similarly, there is no feelings and everything. So people for anything, for small things also, they are ready to kill so many people, or maybe killing so many animals and killing so many trees. So that's why the effect, what goes in, that comes out. So we are going to face this distress because whatever we are doing with our nature, that naturally pay back in its own coin. So that's why we have to see that what we are doing with our nature, and definitely we have to pay back in our own coin. Next slide, please. The shortage of resources, like we found uh, in many cities like Chennai and other places also, that the shortage of drinking water will be there, and this water level is going down and down. So that's why people are coming to one place and having multi-storied building and flats. So this water shortages are there, and definitely shortage of resources because we are not widespread. We are concentrating at one place and trying to stay in the city area, and that's why these resources will be definitely shortage. So that is one of the main reasons, and separately also there are so many reasons are there. So shortage of resources because wrong utilizations of the resources is also one of the major reason. So we are not utilizing it properly. These resources is not properly utilized. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. So ecological imbalance. So we know that deforestation, cutting so many trees. For example, for printing a newspaper, daily newspaper, we are cutting so many trees, and that newspaper once we read it, and that is of no use, and maybe whole newspaper also very rare people study and also read, or and also it is of 5 to 10% maybe actually of some use may be there, but 90% is of no use, and that's why one of the main reason is its ecological imbalance, cutting of the many trees, and for making uh, technological advancement, we are wiping out this nature and creating imbalance of the ecology. So, so much pollutions, water pollution, air pollutions, and noise pollution. So many pollutions are being created by these ecological imbalances. So, and that's why the greenhouse effect, where so much temperature is increasing, and temperature earlier we are knowing that 40 degree in this summer season is very high, but nowadays 50 degrees also it is coming. In our lifetime we have also seen that is very short duration we are seeing that the temperature is rising like anything, and that is and there is no, sometimes summer, no 6 seasons will be available. Summer and maybe winter is also not there, and that rainy season is there sometimes, and that too also because the depressions rain is coming, and there is no season actually in one sense, except one is hot season, that is summer season. So other seasons are not available almost. So in many places we are seeing, So that is because we are playing with the nature. So nature is paying back the same thing in its own coin. So that's why this ecological imbalance, we have to give our thought towards these things, that how we can balance the ecology, and because otherwise we are going to face serious problem in future also. Only now also we are suffering, and future also we are going to suffer a lot. Next slide, please. So deforestations, because forest is not there, so then there will be no rain, and this desert, there will be so many deserts will be converted. So that's why we have to go for the afforestation, and you have to plant these trees, uh, and we have to maintain our ecological balance, and then only we can remain within our natural environment, and we can get some clear air to breathe. So because of some pollution and all these things, our we are having so many lungs problems, heart problems, so many things that are happening. So nothing is pure nowadays. Everything is mixed, or uh, so many pollutions are there. So that's why we have to go for this nature. We have to live with nature, and then we'll get some happiness. If we maintain our ecological balance with this nature, then some happiness will be also be there for this. Next slide, please. Mass animal killing for human consumption. So now we see we are killing so much animals. Actually, if we hit somebody, that ultimately that will be reflect back towards us. So, so many natural disturbances, natural calamities are coming. Because of this, we are killing so many animals, so many earthquakes, and all these things is natural calamities is happening because of the mass animal killing for human consumption. Actually, for us, for normal human being, this food is vegetarian food is better, and it is not necessary that we can kill an animal for our sense gratifications. It is not required. It is not there. It is required, not at all advisable. So that's why so many diseases are coming, so many natural calamities are coming, and we are not able to get the handle how, where, from where these are coming. Actually, if we are if our some children is having some little bit disease, we are getting affected, or if we are something is problem with our family members, we are getting so many problems, or affected by that. So then definitely Lord is the Supreme Father, and all these animals, human beings, all are his sons, and definitely these animals are of less intelligent than human being, and the human being is having higher intelligence, and they are going to kill the lower intelligence people, or animals. So that's why Lord will not be happy, and these natural calamities and disasters are coming, because since few years we are seeing that so many cyclones has increased, and earthquakes and all these things is increasing within very short period of time, within very few years of time. So that's why we should know the reason behind it. So if we study the Shastra, in Shastra it is clearly mentioned that so many things. Suppose a embryo development in this inside the womb of a mother is not that much clearly known, but it is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam how clearly that the embryo is developing. So in Shastra, so many things has been explained, which if we read, so like Ayurveda, that is also from Veda it is coming. So many things are there. This medical science also coming from Ayurveda. So many things are there. We can study the Shastra, and from there we can know that what is the real reason behind all these problems we are facing. So just because we are studying one part of material knowledge, then we are not studying the spiritual knowledge. So that's why we're not getting the spiritual knowledge. That's why we are not able to know what is the main reason behind it. So that's why we have to study both Aparavidya and Paravidya, as we discussed earlier. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah, the misuse of the technology may wipe out the entire living world. So the entire living world, if we utilize it properly, then it may get some peace. But if we, like already discussed earlier, so that the whole entire living world may be wipe out, and gradually this water level is reducing, pollution is increasing. So gradually everything will be disastrous for all human being, all this living world, entire living world will be in trouble. And as you know, like petrol and diesel, they are going to be adjusted within less than 50 years. Similarly, if we are not utilizing everything in a proper way, so then one day it will create problem for us. So that definitely maybe in our generation or maybe next generation, this will be we will be finding this problem. Next slide, please. So all these give a signal that science and technology alone don't have the answer. So only technology or science we cannot give this real happiness. So we have to parallelly search for this other part of the happiness, spiritual happiness. So that's why only one part is technology or science. It will not give this answer. Next slide, please. So, like teachings from Bhagavad Gita or any spiritual books we are getting, so definitely both the things is there. In the Bhagavad Gita, we are having this sociology, politics, and everything is there in that Bhagavad Gita. So, though it is having only 700 shloka, so whatever problems we are facing in our life, or we are yet to face, or whatever we have already faced, all these questions answers are there in this spiritual book. So if we read this Bhagavad Gita, definitely we'll get some clue under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. If we read it, definitely we get some clue out of it. So and get some happiness out of it. Next slide, please. So the teachings and message of Bhagavad Gita are very relevant in the scientific and technological age. Gita provides material as well as spiritual knowledge and a synthesis of both. So we are thinking that only technologically, if we are becoming happy, it will be happy. No. So that's why everything is there in Bhagavad Gita. So if once we read it under the guidance of a person who has already understood it and implemented in his life, then he can get both material as well as spiritual knowledge. Though basically it is a spiritual book, but everything in our life what is required to be done is already there. So we can get guidance from it. So we humbly request everybody to go for studying this scriptures or shastra and implement in our life. Next slide, please. So 5 basic truths explained in Gita is Ishvara, Jiva, Karma, Prakriti, and Kala. Actually, 5 things has been discussed: the Supreme Lord, individual living being, activities, the Prakriti is material nature, and Kala is time. These things, 5 basic topics has been discussed in Bhagavad Gita. Next slide, please. And other details, namely the duty of each individual being, the process of relating the individual being to the Supreme Being, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga. By studying these topics mentioned above, a person can gather knowledge and understanding so that he or she can see spiritual works within the material world. So, everything is there discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. So, how to do our duty, so Karma Yoga in proper way, and how to meditate on Lord, and how to acquire real knowledge. So all these things has been discussed, and with the 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita is there, 700 shloka. So details are already there. Next slide, please. knowledge of all this culminates in Bhakti Yoga, or devotional service to the Supreme Lord, which will help decide the right action, means that will give our happiness. So the essence of Bhagavad Gita is to understand what life is and what is real duty will be. So if we connect everything to Lord through Bhakti Yoga process, so that will give this real happiness to us. So that's why that is a technique given in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, how everything can be connected to Lord. Even technology can be connected to Lord in a proper way. So that will give this happiness to us. So without knowing this real key behind this happiness, where is the key? We have to understand that real happiness. Then only we can get happiness. Next slide, please. In the beginning, Arjuna, the friend and disciple of Lord Sri Krishna, was at a loss. He was completely overwhelmed with the thought that he had to fight with his worshipable teachers, elders, friends, and relatives in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So he was confused whether I will fight with my grandfather, with my teacher, so with my brothers. So that's why he got confused. So what to do? So then he surrendered to Lord, and Lord gave him this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. And after that, he was clear with his doubt, and then he surrendered to Lord, and with that help of that knowledge, he again fought with their friends, relatives. It's because they know that he was fighting for Lord. So even fighting is not bad, but fighting for Lord is good. So similarly, fighting with for dharma is good. So we sometimes feel fighting is bad, but no. So if it is used for this real purpose or for the service of the Lord, then it's good. So for dharma, he has to fight. He was not interested to fight initially, but Krishna told him that who am I? Actually, who are you? Your soul, and all are these relatives. They are also related to body. So they are also soul, but you are seeing him as a body. That's why this confusion is coming. So that's why it's because you take the guidance from me and you fight. So that's why the Lord instructed Arjuna, and in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and they fought it. Arjuna fought the battle and lastly won. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita last sloka it is told, Jatra Jagneswa Krishna, Jatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Sri Vijar Bhuti, Dhruvani Nitirmatir Mama. Wherever Lord Krishna is there, wherever the devotee like Arjuna is there, so there is a victory, there is a morality, and opulences, everything is there. So that's why the victory was assured. From that point of view, it was already explained before this Kurukshetra war was started. It was assured that victory will be there. Next slide, please. So the misconception that I am this body is the cause of all bondage and suffering of human life. An intelligent and thoughtful person should transcend this misconception. One must perform one's rightful duty and leave the result to the Lord. Karmani eva adhikaraste ma phalesu kadachana. So means we have to do our duty as far the guidance of the Shastra, and we should not expect any result out of it, because the result will give this happiness and sorrow, and that's why we have to do our duty under the guidance of Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Krishna explained that life is non-physical and non-chemical entity. The soul is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. So, Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, 20 sloka. The soul is unborn. The soul is never, it is eternal, it never dies. It is ever-existing and primeval. And he is not slain. So, actually, body is slain and the body is temporary, but soul is eternal. So, that's why it is not going to be slain or it is not going to be destroyed. So, that's why his confusion gone, Arjuna. Misconception was gone because of this bodily concept was removed, and that's why he got this real knowledge. Next slide, please. This is why materialistic science and a mechanical model of life will be unable to understand how life began either on this planet or on the other planets. The history of its origin cannot be traced from any material perspective. Krishna says that he is the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Am sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matta bhajante mam buddha bhava samannita. So this is Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, 8 shloka. So this is 10 chapter 8, 9, 10 and 11. This is 4 shloka. It's called Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. So that's why the whole Gita summary is there in this 4 shloka. Krishna says that he is the source of all spiritual and material worlds. So aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source of everything, and from me everything emanates. So, so he is the source of everything, and the universe is being run under his direction. So that's why we should know that who is the source of everything, and so that's why Lord is the source of everything, and he in the beginning who was there, in the middle he will be there, in the end he will be there. So that's why this Bhagavad Gita explains everything in detail. Next slide, please. The human form of life is a great gift of the Lord in order to learn the science of self-relations. Actually, there are 84 lakhs of species are there, and 4 lakhs human species are there. According to consciousness, 4 lakhs has been divided. So in this human life only, we can know who am I and what is my relationship with God. This animals will not be able to understand, or any other lives or species will not be able to understand. So that's why the individual is the passenger of the, this is the chariot model. In model, these 5 senses are there, like 5 horses are there, our senses are 5 senses, Indriya are there, and mind is just like that Raju, and that higher intelligence or Buddhi is there, and consciousness is or this Atma is there. So this is the model, and if our consciousness is strong, and Atma is stronger than Buddhi, and Buddhi is stronger than mind, and mind is stronger than senses, then only we will be in line. Otherwise, the senses, like 5 Indriya, senses are there, it will drag us in different directions, and we will be not getting any happiness. So that's why individual is the passenger, or the Atma is the passenger of the material body, and the intelligence is the driver, mind is the driving instrument, and the senses are the horses. The self is the enjoyer or the sufferer in association of mind and senses. So we are suffering because of our mind or any senses, because sometimes sense is wanting something to eat, and somebody is having diabetes and he wants to take a rasogalla, so then he is suffering. So that's why the senses are making us suffer. So if your intelligence is stronger than science, then he'll tell no, don't take it, so don't eat it. So we have to know, so for our real interest, and then accordingly we have to go for that. Next slide, please. Krishna says an intelligent person does not take part in the source of. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, 22 shloka, यही संस्पर्श जा भोगा दुख जनय भवते आदि अंतबंत कौन्तेय नतेषु रमते बुद्धा. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. So actually, this picture is very nice picture. One person, he was chased by one elephant. So then he is running, he has got hold of this branch of a tree, and this elephant is trying to pull out this that tree, and there is a rat which is going to cut that branch, and in the ground there is snakes are there, and in the top there is a honeycomb is there. So though he was in a material difficulties, sorrow, but in the meantime entered its mouth, and then he's getting some happiness, and he's thinking that I am happy in this material world. So this material world is like full of miseries, only there is difficulties, and that honey drop sometimes we are getting, and we are thinking that we are very happy. So actually there is no happiness in the material world, and some temporary cessation of miseries. When misery is not there, we are getting some happiness. That is called material happiness. So that is not real happiness. Actually, spiritual happiness is the real happiness, which goes on increasing. But every step it goes on increasing. But here we are just like a person is taken to water and is deep inside the water, and when he feels suffocated, he is being brought out of the water and again deep. So like that, whenever there is a suffocation and we are getting out, we are thinking that we are getting happiness. Actually, that is not happiness. That is called cessation of or stoppage of material misery for the timing. That is called material happiness. So that is not the real happiness. So when an intelligent person does not take part in social misery, because he knows, if suppose we want to drink something we are drinking, like maybe uh, सुरापान कर रहे हैं हम लोग. So at that time we are feeling some little bit happiness. Actually it is going to affect our liver and all these things. So we are temporarily getting some happiness, but in long term we are going to get some misery out of it. So that's why the intelligent person doesn't go for the temporary happiness. He searches for the real happiness, and this real happiness is not in this material world. It is in the spiritual world. So that's why, though we are in just like a jail, in this jail we are here in material world, and we are searching for happiness. So here we will not get real happiness. So we have to search for happiness in the spiritual world. So in this human birth, we can decide our next life, where we can go, and whether we will be in the spiritual world or again in this material world after taking so many births, again of different animal birth, or maybe plant birth, or any maybe birth, whatever may be birth. Actually, that is up to us to decide. So real happiness is not there in this material world. So temporary happiness is there, and we are thinking that real happiness it is there. It is not there. Next slide, please. The material body is a simply temporary vehicle. The individual gets the body according to the result of his previous karma. The human form of life is a facility given to seek and inquire about the spiritual nature of life. Once the nature of the passenger, the self, is understood as a spiritual entity, all bodily instruments and functions can also be spiritualized. Thus, technology can be spiritualized. Like one, suppose iron rod is there, and if we put it in fire, so then it gets the quality of fire. It becomes red hot. So similarly, this technology or whatever the thing is there, this body is there, if we use it in for spiritual purpose, then it gets spiritualized. So that's why the once the nature of the passenger, that is self, that is spirit, actually we are the spirit soul, body is the outer covering. So we understand that who am I? So we know that we are the spirit soul, then we can understand that our service is to serve the Lord. So that's why we can get the real happiness after we are getting connected to the source of real happiness, that is called Lord or Supreme Lord. Next slide, please. So how can technology be spiritualized? Our intelligence has to be spiritualized, and the mind can be spiritualized. All the senses will be directed toward a spiritual goal, and that technology and business can be used for a spiritual end. So that's why everything is used for the purpose of spiritual purpose, or for the service of the Lord. Then we can get everything spiritualized. So technology can also be spiritualized. Next slide, please. So in Bhagavad Gita, there are three types of karma has been defined: karma, bikarma, and akarma. So what type of karma we should do? The karma is a mixed type of nature, means it is having good or bad result, both are there. Bikarma means just against this karma, or just against this things to be done. That is opposite to viruddha karma. And akarma is a karma which is having no reaction. So whatever you do for the service of the Lord, that is called akarma. So that akarma should be there, and not this karma or bikarma. So if we do the akarma service for the service of the Lord, that will give this real happiness. Next slide, please. So one can purify and spiritual the mind and senses through a change in consciousness. So this change is suggested in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna tells Arjuna of the knowledge of yoga, whereby one can work without fruitive results. O son of Pritha, when you act by such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. So when we act by the intelligence of Lord given by Him, so then we can become free from the bondage of the work. So this is the meaning of the spiritualization of works, including technological works. Okay, next slide, please. Krishna Father explained that a person will be elevated to the high stage of stage using व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धिर व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धिर एके है पुरुनंदन भूशाखा अनंतस्य बुद्धे अव्यवसायिन that is chapter 241 shloka. Our intelligence व्यवसायिकत्व with means a businessman is having always intelligence to get profit. Similarly, our intelligence should be there to get this service of the Lord. So when a person works as an offering to Krishna, he will enjoy transcendental happiness in the discharge of this service. The sense of eternal servitorship of the Lord makes one immune to all reactionary elements of work. The key is to give up all the sense of proprietorship and developing the state of being dhira. So that means we are not the proprietor. Everything belongs to Lord. So Bhaktaram Jagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Mahaswaram Shuddha Sarvabhutanam Jnatmam Santi Dichyati. How will get peace? Now knowing three things. First thing is that Lord is the enjoyer of everything. Bhaktaram Jagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Mahaswara. He is the proprietor of everything what we are seeing. And he is the best well-wisher for every living entity. So these three things, if we know that everything is the property of Lord, and it should be used in his service. And Bhaktaram Jagyatupasang Sarvaloka Mahaswara. He is the proprietor of everything, and he is the enjoyer of everything, supreme enjoyer, he is the supreme proprietor, and he is the supreme well-being of all this living entity. So if we know these three things, then there will be real happiness or real peace will be there. Next slide, please. So science and technology concerned for external or bodily happiness without caring for internal or spiritual happiness. Bhagavad teaches that this is the due to lack of spiritual knowledge. So external happiness we are searching for, but internal happiness is there in Bhagavad Gita by implementing it in our life. Next slide, please. True knowledge is Raja Vidya, king of knowledge. The king of knowledge is to understand the spiritual knowledge, nature of the self, the life, and its natural function. Devotional service, Bhakti Yoga to the Supreme Lord. So, all knowledge, the Raja Vidya, topmost knowledge, that is in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, we given that the service of the Lord, that is called topmost knowledge. So, if we get that one, that will give this real happiness. Next slide, please. So, there in chapter 18 also, that there are 5 factors of actions are given. So, for any action to happen, the body or the place of action is there, the doer is there, various senses are there, different kinds of endeavor, and super soul. So super soul sanctions these 4 things. Even if they are if Lord does not sanction, nothing will happen. So a blade of grass doesn't move without the sanction of the Lord. So similarly, if we try to do something and through our senses and we put our endeavor, but if Lord doesn't sanction, nothing will happen. So we are thinking that we are the doer. Actually, we are trying to do, but unless until Lord sanctions it, we cannot do it. So that's why there are 3 doers are there. So the supreme doer is, sanctioner is Lord. Next slide, please. According to Bhagavad Gita, in order to enjoy real happiness and fulfillment, a person should know what is the right action to be undertaken. If one knows that all these factors are included in all human activities, including technology, one can really experience a true happiness. So, now if one knows that all these factors are included in all human activities, including technology, one can really experience a true happiness. Next slide, please. This is very briefly the message of Bhagavad Gita. In this way, a connection is possible between spirituality and technology, according to the Bhagavad Gita. Next. Thank you for joining. If any queries there, so my allotted time is up to 1 o'clock. But if any queries is there, we can take up some questions. If I think our time is up to 1:15, so some questions we can take up. Some questions or some remarks or some realizations or some things. Pratap sir, if you want to share something.
Thank you so much, sir, for this beautiful presentation and for sharing your knowledge with us. Sir, this is a token of appreciation and respect from our side, from Dreams Autonomous, the e-felicitation. So please do accept it.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for giving this opportunity of service.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir. So thank you, sir, for giving us your valuable time on this particular forum. So we will again look forward for any other session in the offline session at the college. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
If
sir.
if some honorary dignitaries wants to share something, and if something is important, my learning or somebody.
So any participant, if you want to share something regarding this particular topic,
Another
if
10
we,
minutes is there. Yes, that's why I'm requesting if anybody wants to participate.
right, sir.
Sushant sir can share.
Sir, actually participants are there also. If you will tell one or two line about how to control ego, because false ego is creating problem in this present world, and that is why people are bewildered and they are deviated from their original paths. So you tell one or two line about this, it will be good for others.
Thank you, sir, Pratap sir. So, as you know already, I think you know that actually ego means there are two types of ego are there. One is real ego and one is false ego. So, as you told, the false ego, real ego means who am I? Real identity, that is called real ego. And false ego is just perverted reflection of real ego. So, as we know that we are not the body, and as per this Bhagavad Gita, we are the soul. The soul's nature is pleasure seeking, and it has to be get pleasure if it connected to the supreme soul, as we discussed. So, Jiber Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. We are the eternal servant of the Lord. So when we understand that, when we realize that I am the servant of Lord, so then there is no question of false ego. But when the false ego comes, means I am the master. That's just opposite of this servant position. Actually, master is one only. The Lord is only one master, and everybody is the Akela Ishwara Krishna are Sabhritya. The Bhagavan is Lord is only one, and all are the servant of Lord. So when we try to take the position of the Lord, then this false ego comes. Take the position of the Lord means we want to become a master. Then the false ego, or we want to control. Actually, we are controlled. Lord is the controller. So, but when we take this position of controller, try to take the position of controller, that is called false ego. Then this problem comes. But when we feel or realize that we are eternal servant of Lord, we have to serve Him. So then there is no question of false ego. That is called real ego. Real ego is good, false ego is bad. Is it clear, sir?
Any other queries from the participant?
Nitesh ji, you are hearing?
Sir, just we are giving the
Nitesh
control
Kumar.
to
He
Nitesh
is
Kumar. Yes.
raising hand. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are just giving you. And Nitesh, sir, now you can unmute yourself and put your questions over here, sir.
Yeah. Very good afternoon to all, and all the persons who have joined, and first of all, my obeisance to the presenter and the mentor, I can say, with whom I have joined from past, uh, Pankaj sir. So what he has explained was quite, I can say, beneficial for all, because the topic is quite interesting. The in search of happiness. Actually, in today's world, we are all searching for happiness, and our ultimate aim is only happiness. So there are different.
Niteshji, just I want to interrupt. First,
Yes.
please introduce yourself because others are new. Please introduce. Then you.
Okay, okay. So actually, my name is Nitesh Kumar. Recently, I'm working as scientist in Ministry of Electronics and IT, and I'm from Kolkata. So I'm working here. So happiness, and as we can say that the science, what we are studying, what we are seeing today, the spiritual science is beyond that. The horizon of a spiritual science, I can say, is more than the extent of the science, the material science, or the things or discovery that is going on in today's world. So many scientists in the past have derived inspiration from Bhagavad Gita, like Nicholas Tesla, Carl Jung, and world immersion, I can say. So even Sunita Williams took the Bhagavad Gita when she went to space. So Bhagavad Gita is not just a book; it's a way of life. I have initiated studying Bhagavad Gita. So my realization is that it helped me a lot in my journey, since uh, Bhagavad Gita is not just a book we are studying like different books, but living how to live, how to respect others, how to live your life in a beautiful way by maintaining dignity. So these things are there. So this is just the beginning. This was the first class, I think. So as time will pass, so uh, all we will all elevate ourselves in this journey, and thank you so much for the nice presentation, sir. So thank you.
Thank you, Niteshji.
Thank you, Nitesh sir. Any other participant, if you want to share your views or any queries with us?
PK Sahu sir, do you want to share something? Pradeep Kumar Sahu, he AGM BSNL.
Sir, so it is.
None pronouns Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, just one doubt. My doubt is, what is the nature of akarma?
Okay. Nature of akarma means actually there are three types of karma as we discussed in short. Karma, akarma, and vikarma. Karma means any action we are doing that is called karma. Either it may be positive or negative. So if we are going to donate something to somebody, a poor person, you are donating. So then you are having good pious activities. If we are honestly punishing somebody, it is called negative. So this karma is having plus and minus both. Bikarma means whatever service you do for the service of the Lord, that type of karma is called akarma. Bikarma means it is opposite to Shastra. Suppose one should not kill animal, but we are killing animal, that is called bikarma, viruddha karma. So that's why akarma is that work which is for the service of the Lord. Is it clear?
Bro.
Okay.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone who want to share something else, or we will conclude the session with your permission to sir.
Okay, thank you. I think if no more question is there, so we'll conclude the session within the time. And it is a great opportunity for me. Thanks this Dreams College for giving me this opportunity, and this I'm very much grateful and thankful to all of the participants, and for giving this opportunity to share my realizations. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Everybody, thanks.
Thank you so much, sir. So it was really a good session. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hare Krishna.
So this is the end of this session, second session for day 5. We will again sit for the next session as 2:30 p.m. Thank you.